I don't know if you even know, before you came back from that vacation, I had given the rest of your team I definitely gave them a lot of pushback, because Jack came home not needing a feeding tube. He was eating on his own for the first time. I was experiencing a baby eating, and he wasn't on all the heavy-duty meds Joseph was on. So going into that hospital stay and, learning, okay, we need to put in this feeding tube, and we need to start this med, this med, this med, and in my mind, it was the whole story over again. It was the same meds that Joseph was on. Nope, we don't need these yet. We don't need these yet. And it wasn't, I needed the clear, honest conversation that yes, he does need these right now, that I wasn't getting enough, and I needed that. And I think the relationship that we had, and you knowing how to deliver information to me, facilitated that.
And it's interesting, right? Because the more you sort of talk about yourself as going from sort of needing this paternalistic doctor to tell you what to do to being more of an advocate, but the more the parent has that fierce advocacy, actually the more they need the clear guidelines about what their child needs. And I think a lot of providers hear that advocacy and interpret that as, okay, let's agree on this together, and that's actually not at those moments what you needed. You needed me to come back and say, we're putting the NG tube in today, and this is why. And I think
that he has gotten this much sicker, and hearing those words, he's gotten this much sicker, he needs these meds now, he needs this nourishment now. That's and not kind of dancing around it. I needed to hear that this was needed.
I call it guided recommendations. You are saying what you believe should happen, and guiding them to that decision as well. And if that all aligns, then everybody feels good. And hopefully the child gets better. That doesn't always happen either, but it's still, even if you're wrong, feels better that you were aligned than if you weren't.
And I think it's situation dependent also. You have not always been as, he needs these meds, he needs this temporary feeding tube right now. It hasn't always been how you were with me, but in that time frame, I was fighting it more because I didn't want to accept that that's what he needed at the point. So again, the relationship and knowing as a mom where I needed to be given choice and decisions, and where I just needed to be told, it is this bad right now, this is what's needed.
I also think that if you offer the alternative as well, that it makes it more clear. So I think he needs the NG tube for feeding. Some families might not choose that, and with that path, he's gonna get sicker and die, right? So if you can think about the risk and benefit of one path, but you have to think about the risk and benefit of the other path as well. And I think that it's often when you're in there with your child, you're only thinking about the risks of what it means to have that tube placed or that medicine started or that PICC line or whatever it is. So I think you can guide that in a way.